Henrietta Ivey, a resident of Detroit, Michigan, is a home care worker and organizer. Speaker of the 2016 Democratic National Convention, 2017 City Council candidate, and mentor of Ivy Kids Summer Mentor Program.
Welcome to Conversations with Kai Mann. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and this is the show where we bridge the gaps one story at a time. And today we are talking with Henrietta Ivey. She is the Democratic Nominee Convention's home care worker. She has been speaking out all across the country, guys. You guys have really, or you're going to be blessed. I'm telling you today, you're going to be blessed. We're having a conversation with her. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm glad to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Glad to do it.
Listen, in the beginning of the intro, the show's intro, they read your bio, but I want to know, and I want my viewers to know who Henrietta Ivey is at your core. Who are you at your core?
I am a fighter. I am compassionate. I am an optimist. And I am strong. I have to be all those things in order to do what I do. You know, I come from a long line of dysfunction, and I had to learn to take pieces of that dysfunction to build up my strength, because I have a lot of fight on me. And being a home care worker, an organizer, an activist, you have to have some dysfunction just to deal with that every day. Right. So, but I'm truly a person for the people. I love being able to service people. I love being able to know that if I can make something better, it's from the smallest level to the tallest level. That's just what I do. I believe it's a natural instinct for me. I've always been that way, being a third child of my mom's 9 children and raising 6 of my siblings. That motherhood thing comes kind of natural for me, so I take it everywhere I go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us why this year's nominations, why the right to vote, why are all these things, this campaign this year, why is it so important to you?
Well, it's important to me as a person because of this is a family thing. You know, my family is at stake here. If we don't get the right person in office, then I suffer, then my family suffer. As a person for the people, we all are going to suffer. If we don't get out and exercise our vote, and we don't get the right persons in office, what we know now, the little bit that we know now, is going to be gone. I'm sure everyone's been paying attention to the elections and the debates and the candidates on both sides. And I tell people, look at that and pay attention. Not what somebody else is telling you, not what you think you know, but pay attention to what's coming out these candidates' mouth. It's important to me because I know if I don't get out and vote, it pushes me closer and closer to not having all the things that I'm working so hard to try to achieve. If we get the wrong person in office, I don't think I will be able to achieve them at the rate I would like to achieve them if we get the right person in office.
Right. So when you're speaking about the things that you want to achieve, tell us about some of those things that you want to achieve and why.
Well, you know, for starters, I want to make sure we get this fight for 15 in the union out there. I want that on the ballot. I want all working class Americans making a livable wage, because I feel like if we can put everybody in a status where they can all afford to live, that'll cut crime. It'll cut out a lot of stuff. I just feel it'll just help the working class family. For me, because I am also a candidate running 2017.
Congratulations.
Thank you. For city council at large. It gives me the opportunity to really get out there and reach my community and just feed them everything they need to know about what's going on in the city. I think a lot of the citizens here don't really understand the politics of this city. You know, they trust people to go in, they vote them in, they trust that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Well, I'm a different kind of politician. I don't want to go in saying what I'm going to do. I want to go in knowing what I got to do. How do I do that? I got to fact my citizens. I got to talk to citizens and get their feedback to find out what it is that they need, so I can take it back and say, hey, we need to work on this, my day one agendas.
Right. I love you on Facebook.
Thank you. I love you too.
Thank you. You are a big supporter.
Yes.
You really are, and I thank you very much for the support that you always give to me. You have been doing different videos where you have been going out into the community and you're showing different schools and you're wanting to know why these schools are closing. Tell us a little bit about that.
That is a concern for me because education is important. Our children need to be able to have education at their hands, not poverty and then education. If you look around, as I went through all the different communities, and I asked myself the question before I did it, like, why are so many schools closed? What is going on? You know, talking to the community, a lot of them is like, we don't know. They just closed it up. And I'm going and I'm like, okay, there's a lot of kids in this area. Why is this school closed? So I moved to another area of the city, and that school is closed. And it's like schools all around the city of Detroit are closing with the selective few. And that bothers me. It concerns me because our children should walk out the door and see poverty first, and then education at a far. They shouldn't have to reach for education. So it's like it's going backwards to where it began, where they didn't want us to have it, and we ancestors and other leaders fought so hard for us to have it, and it's like somehow somebody found a way to take it back. So that my concern with showing the school, I want to wake the community up and show them, look guys, this is a problem. Stand with me. We got to find out why this is happening. This ain't just by chance. Not every one of them in our community. So yep.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I am your host, Kai Mann. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Focus One Entertainment is Detroit's premier entertainment company. But we're not just an entertainment company. We are your #1 multimedia resource. Focus One has combined years of talent and experience in order to bring you what you're looking for in a video, a polished professional product. F1 Entertainment specializes in filming workshops, seminars, and corporate presentations. More and more businesses are utilizing video production services to create web virtuals, online marketing content, and promotional and corporate training videos. Your company can do the same with Focus One Entertainment. Contact Focus One Entertainment at 313-444-3638 or visit us on the web at www.focusoneentertainment.com.
One of the things that I've dealt with was depression, feelings of sadness and loneliness from what I used to have. Most of us feel depressed at times, that's normal. But when it lasts more than 2 weeks and it begins to interfere with your daily activities like work, school, or taking care of the kids, that's when you should talk to a professional. 3 to 5% of most people suffer from depression. It wasn't until I addressed what was going on inside of me, and instead of suppressing it, that my life changed. Talk to someone. You matter. Join the movement. #GetNaked.
And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show, where we bridge the gaps one story at a time. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and we are sitting here today with Henrietta Ivey, y'all. This is going to be an amazing show. I can feel it already.
All right.
So in between the breaks, you know how we do. Sometimes we have these conversations. We have to come back in. I want to know. Now, you and I were talking about you being out in the public now and having to be more open about who you are. How does that affect what it is that you're doing? And why do you feel that you have to be more out and in the public?
Well, it affects because, you know, I'm running and I'm representing the people. They have to see who's going to bat for them.
Right.
Opening up my doors and letting people in my life and seeing how I live and seeing all that I go through is important because I'm a real person.
Right.
And I think in order for people to get what they're asking for, it has to come from people who understand. So yes, I opened up my doors and I let them in. And they see everything. I'm an open book now. You asked me this 5 years ago, I would have been like, no. But now that I have the strength the understanding of what my position is in life. I have to let the world see who I am. Everything from my daily living to how I work outside of the community, just who I am as a person, so they can decide if that's who they want representing them. And I'm sure they probably would be like, you know what, that they would.
Right.
They would.
You're relatable. Now, the one thing that is very important that you kind of alluded to is that somewhat, in a sense, this is your purpose. So since this is your purpose and you're feeling like you need to be out into the world, how is it feeling to be 5 years ago where you would have been a little bit closed off, and to now have that space where you're able to talk about those things? How does that feel for you?
It is liberating, literally. 5 years ago, I was growing. I was still trying to figure out what is my purpose, and I would get up and ask myself, Lord, what do you want me to do? I thought I wanted to be this person, and then one person at the point thought I wanted to be that person, but I always knew the person I was outspoken. Always have been outspoken. Always been the one that would stand up and say what needed to be said. So I kind of grew into that. It was not something I really chose to do. I was not trying to be a politician. I was trying to be a healthcare provider. I wanted to run hospitals and make policies and make changes, and that's political too, because you're talking about making sure that patients and workers are treated fairly. Right. So I think with having that, even choosing that as a career path, it kind of goes in hand with being a politician, because now I'm still doing the same thing but on a whole different path now. Right. And I grew into it. It was always there. It was like a seed that was there. It just needed some time to grow. I needed to go through some things, and I went through some things. And fighting for this Fight for 15 movement in the union really propelled me into making a decision to become a candidacy to run for city council. And I'm loving it. Yeah. I'm loving it.
What has been like the one thing that you've seen out on the campaign trail, at the conventions? What has been the one consistent theme that you see across the board?
Consistently, I've seen people all asking for the same thing. From state to state when we rally, from city to city when we rally. I've seen one consistent thing, and that is everybody want to make a livable wage. I don't care what color, what nationality. There are people who come out and they ask us, they thank us for coming out and supporting. It's a fight that it goes across the board. It's just not Detroit. It's Washington. It's Ohio. It's Minnesota. It's everywhere. This fight is everywhere. And the consistency of that is everybody is saying, you know what, we're tired. We're tired of not being able to feed our families. We're tired of not being able to keep a loaf of bread on the table for more than a day, or have to stretch stuff that we could, we should be able to enjoy, and then be done with it. So I in my heart, it's like, you know what, this fight is just is big. It's big. It's going to take a tough person to do it. It takes tough people. I'm a tough person. Yeah. I'm a tough girl. Yeah. Because I come from a family of 9, 7 sisters and 2 brothers. Wow. And the struggle was real. And that background, I didn't know was going to put, have an effect on me today. But it plays a major role in who I am as a person today.
Right. That strength and that character. I see you and I watch you on Facebook, because I'm that person who watches, and that's what I do. It's just a part of who I am as Kai Mann. But I see you in the things that you're doing out in the community, and I think, how bold is that? That is a bold thing to do, and it's a courageous thing to do. I'm quite sure there's some things that may have happened in your life that at this particular point you're saying, I'm going to use these things, in order to catapult me into the area that I need to be in. What are some of those things that have happened in your life that you can use to catapult you into the space that you want to be in?
Well, first of all, coming from a family of 9, and not always having the things that other children had, going to school, I wouldn't say raggedy or taggedy, but worn. Not having the support all the time from my mom, because she was a mother of 9. She had a lot to deal with. She had her own issues. And I'm sure if there were things were a little bit more easier for her, she would have been able to involve herself a little bit more. So having gone through the heartache of not having what other children had, going to school and being teased sometime about wearing the same stuff over again, in the back of my mind I was like, if I ever get to a point in my life, nobody's going to have to go through that. Because I feel like giving everybody the opportunity to have it,
Right.
and teaching women how to be able to be great even in a bad situation, especially with mothers. I'm a big advocate of single women, single moms, because I know how it can be. I witnessed my own mom. I went through it as a divorced mother, and I had a lot of support. Thank God for that. So all those scenarios and support that I had, it taught me and it fed me to go out there and feed the masses.
Wow.
And it's just, every time I think about it, I go to bed kind of sometimes, I'm like, wow, you doing this, Henrietta. Never in my life did I think I was going to do this. I mean it's getting so overwhelming sometimes. I cry. But I think those life experiences has propelled me to go out and do what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. We're gonna let that marinate, y'all. We're gonna let that marinate. We're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I am your host, Kai Mann, and we'll be right back. And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and today we are sitting here and we are talking with Henrietta Ivey. I thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
I've been wanting to do this conversation, so it's a must needs, because I think as women and as we're going into different spaces, we need to be able to share certain stories. And during the break, you and I were talking about a story, and pretty much the story is your life, about some things being hard for you. Share a little bit with us about that hardness or that struggle that you've had to go through.
Oh my God, where do I begin? Heartache, disappointment, depression. Almost wanted to commit suicide. A lot of stuff that people didn't know about me, because I hid it, and I hid it so well. Depression came from growing up and seeing the world so beautiful, and then had to come back to my world of struggle. Again, you know, not saying that my parent was bad, but there were struggles there. And those struggles were sometimes the lights were off. Sometimes there was no food. Sometimes I had to go to school with just a coat on from 2 years ago, but it was all we had. And having to deal with it as a child, and then growing up and thinking, okay, I'm grown now and I can make my own path, and I fall into some really desperate things. Like I got married right out of high school, thinking that was going to solve my problem. I married this wonderful man. He was a good man. We had 4 children together. Didn't work out. Ended up divorced. So depression kicks in. Like, Lord, you know, where do I go from here? You know, I done broke up my family. How are my children going to feel about me, not knowing that they don't have mom and daddy in the same house no more, and they're used to that. That was depressing for me, but I wore it all with a smile, but it was killing me on the inside. One day, my kids were at school, and I decided, you know what, Lord, I got an insurance policy, they'll be fine. So how do I make it look good enough where they won't pay it, where they'll pay it out? And I contemplated suicide, attempted it. And my daughter came home, and I was asleep with the bag over my head.
Wow.
And that was the most hurtful thing that my heart had to witness, that my child pulling the bag off my face. Mama, what are you doing? And I just told you, I couldn't even find the words. You know, I have to make up a story to tell them. You know, oh, Mama fell asleep. I was putting some clothes in. I just fell asleep. But the tape. Mm-hmm. Thank God she wasn't, I guess, old enough to understand the tape around the bag, and she just tore it open. That woke me up. I had a bigger purpose. Because if God wanted me to die that day, or if it was meant for me to be dead that day, I would have been dead. Because I made sure that I was going to be out of here. And when I saw the look in my child's face, I had to fight every grain in me for every struggle I have gone through, that I am going through, and that I have been through. I had to continue to fight. It ain't been easy, Kai. It has not been easy. Being a black woman, a single black woman, raised 4 children. Society viewed it as that's what we're supposed to be. And I was trying to kill that stigma. You know, getting in and out of relationships, trying to prove to the world I can have a man. When I'm thinking, you know, Henrietta, it's not even about that. You got to start with you. You got to dig so deep in your pain and bring up all that, because I got a purpose for you. And the world's going to have to see it one day. And that was back then, because as I mentioned earlier, 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation. It was, to me, it was more embarrassing than it was necessary. Mm-hmm. Now it's necessary, because now I know too many women that have gone through it and that are going through it, and I'm like, let me tell you, I got a story for you. You can get past it. Right. You can make decisions no matter what age. I'm 50, so I wouldn't have thought. I'm thinking at 50, I'm gonna have my little retirement somewhere. I got 10 more years to go. I'll be good. But I'm starting a whole new path. I'm fighting a whole new fight, and I don't think I would have done it had I had not grown. Mm-hmm. It takes growth. Women have to understand it takes growth. Mm-hmm. For whatever it is you want to do in life, you have to start from that small idea, and sometimes it shifts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we think this is the path we're going to go, and Lord said, no, it ain't. And we keep trying to run, no, it ain't. So I was one of those people who kept choosing different paths, because I'm good at whatever I put my hand on. I put it on my hand, it's going to be rocked out. But being on a path where I have to lead people now, I have to stand and be the voice for people, that was something I had not planned on doing. Mm-hmm. But I'm doing it now.
Look at you. We're gonna take another quick break, and we'll be right back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
One of the things I've dealt with was low self-esteem due to body image. Growing up, I thought I was a cute girl, but it wasn't until I was 11 or 12 that I noticed I wasn't built like the boys necessarily liked.
My friends teased me for having a flat butt and a flat chest. Ultimately, this bruised my esteem. Did you know 44% of schoolgirls attempt to lose weight compared to only 15% of boys? And did you know 70% of girls ages 15 through 17 avoid normal daily activities, even like going to school, just because they feel bad about their looks? This type of negative self-thinking usually follows us into adulthood and affects our interpersonal relationships. It wasn't until I fell in love with me and accepted me for who I was that changed my life. Think and speak kindly of yourself. Join the movement. #GetNaked.
Welcome back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and I am sitting here with Henrietta Ivey. I'm telling you guys, this is an amazing, impactful show today. You were talking when we left off about, you know, some of the struggles that you had and some things that a lot of women go through that we don't talk about. Who has been the one person in your life that has been, I don't know, let's say, not so much as a savior or anything of that nature, but somebody who has been by your side, somebody who has helped you out or you've been able to talk with? Who has that person been for you?
Oh my God, my superhero is my dad. It's just like my ace boot cone. There were some years that we were separated. As a child, you know, you don't ask questions, you just wonder. And I would always wonder, okay, I will see daddy, don't see daddy. And, you know, grown-up stuff was going on at that time. There was a family that I love to this very, very day. Love them. They're Mr. and Mrs. Glenn Miller. And there was something going on in my home at this particular time, and I was at 14 going through some stuff, and I walked down there to Mr. and Mrs. Miller's house, and at that time, you know, me and Miss Miller, we were speaking. I was telling her what was going on, and she said, well, have you talked to your father? I said, I haven't seen my dad in over 10 years. She said, well, what's your dad's name? And I gave her my dad's name, and she looked him up, found him. She said, you're right here, I'll be right back. So she went, I seen her grab the phone and she walked out. I said, okay, I'm sitting there, I'm mad. And she came and she said, I got a surprise for you. I found your father. And they're looking for you. And I just, the smile that came on my face, I was like, you found my daddy? She's like, I found your daddy and they're looking for you. So here's the number, go home and call him. And I gave her this big old hug and I'm running home.
Wow.
And I grabbed the phone and I called, and my stepmom, who's now deceased, picked up the phone. And I was like, hello. She's like, Henrietta. I was like, yeah. She said, oh my God, baby, we've been looking for you. And you can hear the crying in her voice. And I'm sitting there and I'm crying. And she said, we're coming to get you this weekend. Now, my dad knew where I lived, but, you know, like I said, the grown-up stuff was going on. So the reuniting and seeing my dad and being able to touch him and hug him and kiss him, it was just, it opened up life for me. I was able to realize that now I can do what I set out to do. Whatever it is I'm going to do, I can do it. I got a daddy.
Yeah.
I got a father. And, I tell people, even now, parents are important. Fathers are particularly important in a girl's life. Not saying that mothers are not, because mama gonna always be mama.
Right.
But I really feel if I had not found my father, if I had not had that push and that leadership from that man, I don't know. I mean, I think I would have been okay, but I don't think I would have been on the roads that I'm on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm on a path of doing something bigger than myself.
Right.
And I know for a fact that all comes from having that father figure.
Mm-hmm.
Having that person tell you're beautiful and you're great and you're smart and you're beautiful and you're my princess and don't you let nobody, all that encouragement, it helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to that person, my dad, hands down.
Yeah.
Lord, that big head man.
You spoke a little bit earlier too about basically the seeds of purpose, and sometimes us wanting to kind of go into a different direction. I happen to be this past Sunday, I'm listening to TD Jakes, and I used to listen to him all the time. So finally I get back into this spot and I'm listening to him this last Sunday, and he's talking about rerouting. So it's just coincidence that you say that. How often do you think that you had to be rerouted, and what was that like for you, having, going in one direction and realizing you needed to be in a different direction?
Oh my God, I rerouted, oh my God, many times in my life.
Yeah.
I know it's past 5. And only because when you set out with a purpose that you think that you're supposed to be. And I set out with a purpose, thinking I'm supposed to be this person, and I'm supposed to be in this career, and I'm supposed to be in that career. And I found myself saying, oh, I like that one. And I'm jumping ship back and forth. But it was all for a good reason.
Right.
But we don't know our path until we go through something. You have to be rerouted sometime in life to go through where God is trying to take you.
Right.
Unless he takes you there immediately, and that's only a few that I know can do that. But for me, I had to be rerouted a lot because I thought this is what I was supposed to do. But God said, no. I'm gonna keep on moving you till I get you where I got you to go. And I really feel like now He has planted me where I'm supposed to be, because I don't think about anything else. My mind is constantly on, what can I do to make it better for the people? What can I do to make it better for the community? What agendas need to be brought up?
Right.
What needs to be, what's first? What's most important? I'm dreaming and eating politics now. I tell you, when I was in the medical field, I enjoyed it because I love serving people, and it felt good being able to be part of a team of people that's serving and make sure people are well. But becoming a politician was a whole lot different. It fired me up.
And we're going to take a break on that note. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Focus. The state or quality of having or producing clear definition. Focus One Entertainment is the premier videography company in the Midwest. We specialize in weddings, corporate events, documentaries, sporting events, and films. Regardless of the scope or budget, we approach every project the same way, by capturing and clearly defining your vision. Contact us at 313-444-3638 or www.focusoneentertainment.com.
One of the things I've dealt with was sexual addiction. And contrary to what folks believe, it's not simply about too much sex. Some argue that sex is not addictive because there are no chemicals involved. But the body produces many hormones and neurotransmitters during sex that produce the same chemical high as drugs or alcohol. Like other addictions, a sex addict's background often stems from abuse and or neglect. And because sex is such a taboo topic, people are ashamed to talk about it. therefore they avoid it, which can lead to sexual secrets and a host of other things. What makes it an addiction is when we continue to engage in high-risk sexual situations that include the transmission of diseases by having sex with multiple partners, anonymous partners, and even simultaneous or repeated sequential affairs. 18 to 24 million Americans can be classified as sex addicts. 25 million Americans spend between 1 and 10 hours per week watching online porn. It wasn't until I decided that I only get one body and it must be cherished that my life changed. Be safe. Love your body. Join the movement. Hashtag get naked.
And welcome back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann, and this is the show where we bridge the gaps one story at a time. And today we're sitting here with Henrietta Ivey, y'all. If you've been watching, you have gotten a earful. You've got some messages in between. You've got some information where how to transform, how to transition. There's a lot that's going on. You work with young ladies as well. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the work that you do.
Well, there was 2011. I was approached by a group of little girls. Mm-hmm. Where I live at, and I would be going to work. They would always see me. They would speak and go, "Hi, Miss Ivy," and I'm hi. And they would always knock on the door and say, "Can we, we want to make some money, and we can clean out your car." So it kind of started like a little conversation of wanting to make money back. If I'm like, cool, this is pretty neat. These little girls out here hustling.
Right.
I wasn't mad at them, but I'm like, cool. And it became frequent when they would come over and we would just sit and talk, and I would buy little snacks and stuff, and we created a bond. It was a bond that became between me and my girls. So one day one of the girls approached and said, "You should be our mentor." I'm looking at her like, "No, I should. I gotta go to work." "No, I don't." I'm like, "I ain't got time of it." She said, "You can do it on the weekend." They will tell me what I can do.
Right.
I said, "Okay." I said, "What do you guys want me to say?" "We just want to come over and talk, and we should call ourselves the Ivy Girls."
Wow.
I'm like, okay. So I was chosen to be their mentors by these girls. I didn't create it. They created it for me.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, well, Saturdays is fine. I said, we'll do it for an hour a day because Miss Ivy got to work and she'd her sleep. And, it grew from there. I started with 5 girls and ended up with about 20 to 25 girls.
Wow.
And even today, I still have girls. You still gonna be Ivy Girl if you want to be Ivy Girl, yeah. And I mentor. I'm telling you, there's a step to becoming an Ivy Girl. You got to make sure your grades are good. You can't be disobedient to your parents. So it is formed into what I call Ivy Girls Summer Mentoring Program. It is not a 501c3 yet, and everything I do is out of pocket. So I have to, I take a paycheck and stretch it way across the board. But I find fun and creative things for these girls to do. And they are, a lot of them are doing very well. The older ones, I talk to them, and they're in high school now.
Wow.
3 of them, two of them, one is at Cass, one is at King, and another one, I forgot the high school she was going to. They're doing very well. And they always tell me, well, Miss Ivy, thank you for being there for us. And then the younger ones that's coming up now, I want to be able to create a sisterhood for my girls.
Right.
I want these young women to understand that they're important. These are young black women, little bitty black women, and the world is going to feed them a lot of negative stuff. It's going to take somebody, one of us, me, you, maybe another neighbor, to grab those little girls and say, "Come here," and have a conversation with them, and let them know how important they are. And let them know how beautiful they are. I know that we see it with all the beautiful women like the Gabbies and the Simones, and that's perfect.
Right.
But they can't reach them. So it's going to take me and the community to bring that village back and raise our girls up and our young men.
Right.
But we start with our women because they replenish the earth when they give birth. So we have to make sure they're giving birth at the right time in their life. Because you can't give birth when you ain't ready.
Right.
And that's why I think the problem comes in. And I think that's where media feeds into that negativity about, because this is all you're doing. Donald Trump made a statement of black people were lazy, they were nothing but good with having babies and twerking, and some mess to that effect. And I'm like, you know what? He ain't the only one to think like that.
Right.
So a lot of people didn't think that way.
Right.
So doing that summer mentor program, I'm trying to feed my girls positive things about who you are.
Right.
You're not your body, you're your mind.
Wow. That's amazing. What have you seen with these young women across the board? Like, you said that they came to you because they wanted to be mentored. And that's an amazing thing. I've never heard of that happening. So it's almost as if we know we need something, you got it, and they're was not going to leave until they got it. So which was an amazing thing. What have you seen with the conversations or heard in the conversations with these young women that we as a society need to know so that we can feed them?
They want to be accepted. They want to be told that I'm beautiful and smart. They don't want to be told that you're nothing. During the time of some of those conversations, they were very heartfelt. One of my mentees was like, we were having a meeting, and she was just kind of standoffish. And I'm like, what's going on? Well, you guys are choosing colors of shirts, and I don't like that color. She's just very agitated by what we were, trying to accomplish. And I said, well, why do you feel that way? I mean, she said, because I was told I look ugly in pink. That pink wasn't my color. And I was told I was fat, ugly, and fat girls should not wear pink because we look like elephants. Touched me. I'm like, wow, who told you that? She said, my teacher. Her teacher.
Wow.
And I was like, your teacher actually told you look like a fat elephant in a pink shirt? She's like, so I don't wear pink.
Wow.
So her self-esteem was brought down. I feel we need to place the right people in our children's life. When, just for a quick second, when I was growing up, teachers were mentors. They didn't talk about you. They didn't discourage you. They encouraged you. What I found in my program, a lot of the girls, the older girls, are getting a lot of discouragement from the people that are supposed to be educating them. And some of the conversations that are going on in those classrooms should not be going on in those classrooms. And I was bothered by that. So I had to work with this young lady. I had to build her up. And it took a lot of trust between me and her. To this day, she is one of my hearts. I mean, all my hearts, but I see her and she's doing well. And she came back, she said, look, what time, anything different? She said, look, and she had keloids. And they were removed, and she feels so beautiful.
Wow.
I said, look at you. I said, wow. I see you done got purtier.
Purtier.
And she was like, yeah. So I think, girls choosing me, because again, I didn't set out to be a mentor. Not that I thought I would not make a good mentor. I was just trying to, go to work and run my house.
Right.
But when you're chosen, and a lot of times we do get chosen to do something, we just got to be ready to do it.
That's true.
We just got to be ready.
That's true. On that note, we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Okay.
This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I'm your host, Kai Mann. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
One of the things I've dealt with was suicide, having thoughts of it and making attempts at it. I felt like I was a burden to others and had no reason to live. So I isolated myself by drinking, doing drugs, and becoming reckless. Did you know that after cancer and heart disease, suicide accounts for more years of life lost than any other cause of death? And even though men are more likely to die by suicide, women are more likely to attempt it. It wasn't until I rediscovered my passions and talents that my life changed. Look within. Get to your core. Join the movement. #GetNaked.
And we are back. This is the Conversations with Kai Mann show. I am your host, Kai Mann, and I'm sitting here with Henrietta Ivey, where we are bridging the gaps. You are such an amazing spirit. You really are. And I'm so happy that the Ivy girls have found you. I really am.
Thank you.
I think that with the politics that you're doing, that you are out here, you're doing the Democratic convention, you are out here doing the home care workers thing, and you're just an amazing person. Like, really, you're just an amazing person.
Thank you.
I want to know, with everything that you're doing, how politics is going to, where is your focus going to be in this political arena that you're stepping into?
Making change for the people. Making sure that communities have what they need to survive. With that, I have to prepare myself to learn a lot. I have to be able to be a person that the people can trust.
Right.
I want to open myself up, all the way up, to everything that I've been through, how I survived it, and what got me to where I am now. What got me to where I'm now, to become a politician, was the fight that many people don't see every day. And that is suffering and poverty in these communities, in these inner cities. That's a problem. I will no longer sit back and say, damn, why is this happening? Oh my God. Oh wow. I feel that I have to step out of that, oh my goodness, that's too bad. I have to step it out and step into, no, this thing can't happen no more. This has to change. So if nobody else want to say it, then I'm going to say it. I'm going to step out there and say, you know what, y'all wrong. Each and every one of these people that's sitting behind these desks, that's running this city, should know better. So now I got to come in there. Now I got to find out what you're doing. I need to have my community to help me with do that, though. You know, I want them to understand. I'll go out there and say what needs to be said. You tell me what it is you need me to say and you need me to do, and you stand behind me, I'll stand on the forefront. I have no problem with that. I've been on the forefront since I was 8 years old. So I'm 50. So I don't have a problem with standing on the forefront. I don't have a problem with saying what needs to be said anymore. And being in this political arena, I have to say what needs to be said. I have to be able to word where they understand that this has gotten out of hand. The crime in the city has gotten out of hand. Closing of the school should have never happened. Flint water crisis should have never happened. Whatever's going on in the city, you know, from senior citizens have to pay all these high notes on water bills and insurances. Why is the city of Detroit residents, inner city residents, the only one going through this, and everybody's catching the break and they're not? That's a problem for me. I have to fight for that, because one day I'm gonna be 70, 80 years old. I want life smooth for me as I get older.
Right.
So I got to fight for it right now. Politically, it has to happen. Somebody has to come out and say, you know what? Yep, we're calling you out. And I have gotten used to calling people out when we go to these rallies. We let them know, hey, you were mistreating this employee, you can't do it no more. And we put it out there. So being able to have that platform, just being the fight for 15 and being the fight for 15 for home care, fast food, child care, airport, anybody who's making less than $15 an hour, has given me that foundation to fight for my community. 2017, I'm gonna be out there. It's gonna get real good.
It's gonna get real good.
I want my city back. I just don't want it back for the select few. You know, I see a lot of great things going on in Detroit. I'll give that, because there's a lot of wonderful things coming up and around, but it's still around on the edge of the inner city neighborhoods.
Right.
And we need to find out. We need to start here too, because that's your core.
Right.
Because if this core ain't fixed, everything that you build and try to make it pretty, that core gonna come right up in there. And then what's gonna happen? You setting up to go right back where you came from, or you're gonna try some other sinister plan. I can't let that happen. I love my city and I love the people in it, and I ain't scared. People ask me all the time, well, aren't you scared when you going through those neighborhoods? Like, no, these are my people. Scared for what? What I got to be scared of? These are the people that need help.
Right.
I'm here to tell them I want to help you. So you tell me what it is you want me to do. You tell me what your problem is, and I'll carry the load. I know how to carry that. I know how to carry loads real good.
All right.
Real good.
Well, why don't you tell us where we can reach out to you if we need to, where we can contact you?
Well, I am on Facebook all the time. You know, I'm constantly on there, you know, posting up. I have, you can reach me at my email, Henrietta Ivey, 975gmail.com. If you just have a question, I've got a group called Hangout. So I'm always in Hangout. And you can just either call me.
Okay.
I mean,
and what's your group on Hangout?
it's just Gmail. Gmail is called
Oh,
Hangout.
okay.
So if they want to reach me through my Gmail account or just send me a quick Hangout message or instant message, like I said, I'm always on Facebook. Facebook, I live on it. You can tweet me. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. If you have any business concerns or if you want to show me some things and help me keep going in the right direction, any ideas that will help me help you.
Okay.
So I can be found through all the social media links.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem.
This has been Henrietta Ivey. You guys make sure that you vote for her in the city of Detroit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Don't forget to come and see us next Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. The Conversations with Kai Mann show, where we bridge the gaps one story at a time. Thank you.